Okay, and I should be here. Okay. So what we're seeing then is that there are hidden alliances in different industries to permit them to survive, and that these alliances are something that we should be watching out for in higher education. If we look at the world of finance, we're seeing new technologies coming in that are revolutionizing the finance industry. And we're talking about cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency was small, and it was something that was very specialized in finance publications. And all of a sudden, I was getting other publications because it's talking about $160 billion. But this is something that has worried, or something that concerns the finance industry. But the thing is that this technology is going everywhere. And so we have to be aware of how technology is just touching all our lives, sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. And when we look naturally about climate change, we're seeing how countries are going out to be free from petroleum. And my question is how something as important as being to be conscious of our environment and to be whole with our environment. How is the University of Aruba contributing to this? And it's something that should worry us all, independently of the disciplines that we have. And it implies that we have to be much more multidisciplinary than what we are now, because our lives are affected by this. And when we look at something like tourism, for example, it's fascinating. When I saw this, I thought of Aruba. Aruba sells itself as the place for fun. The beaches are good places to be in for fun. But this is a whole new approach to the beaches of Aruba. The beaches can be sold as a health resort, something that benefits you as a person, which is a new way to market Aruba, knowing that once Venezuela settles down and once Cuba opens up, the tourism industry here will be unraveled. And you see things like this, you have to be creative as to how you can sell the beaches of Aruba. I'm an old guy, hopefully retired soon, please Lord. And in the 1970s, the Tuftlers came out with a theory about the future, which I've always believed in for all these years. And they said the future is conflict, change, and uncertainty. And I've preached for all these years that our educational system has to prepare students for this future, and we should be dealing with, in our curriculum, conflict, change, and uncertainty, which goes against instructional design, which is saying, cut information into small bits so students can understand it, and they can understand it easily when the world is not easily understood. But with my years, as my hair has gotten whiter and whiter, I've realized that the way to understand higher education is to look at the contradictions. By looking at the contradictions, we can understand what's happening here. And so that's why I'm a fanatic of Thomas Friedman. Thomas Friedman is the author of The World is Flat. Wherever he has an article, I try and read it. And he had an article here, we're talking about May 2017, just a couple of months ago. And in that article, Owning Your Own Future, he has this statement. Technology and digital globalization has created a world where every decent job demands more skills and now lifelong learning, which means that our universities not only have to teach more skills, have to include more skills into our curriculum, but we have to deal with lifelong learning also. And those students that graduate from our universities have to stay connected for all their lives because our professions are constantly changing. It implies more responsibilities to the university when there are less resources. Contradictions. And if we continue to look at tendencies and look what is ahead and what's coming, we can see that many times our universities have operated individually. There are a crowd of universities around, but we lived our little lives together. We have not recognized that we are part of a university system. A university system that is not formal, a university system that's informal. Informal because if we look, so many of our students are going outside of Aruba to study. And we're seeing universities from the outside coming to Aruba to recruit students. It means that we will get to the point where the University of Aruba will go to a student to recruit, and the student will say, nah, I'm not interested in you because I have other alternatives. And when you look at all these universities that are establishing international programs, and why are they establishing international programs? Because they need students. They need students, and they are witnessing that upside down triangle, an inverted triangle. And they're going to be coming here. And when you look at these universities, when you look at Cal State, when you look at Johns Hopkins, and they come Carnegie Mellon, they come here and they're offering their degrees against the University of Aruba. You can imagine what students will be choosing in terms of the programs. They're going to be promising students an easy, rigorous, but a flexible type of education where they could work, have their family, and continue their higher education and achieve their goals. They're going to be offering that. And when you look at the scenes of MOOCs, massive online courses, where these MOOCs are now converging and they're offering different certificates. Certificates that are incredibly specialized where the students are working. And when you have a student, for example, with a certificate from MIT, Harvard, Berkeley, against those specialized certificates against a general certificate diploma from the University of Aruba, many employers will prefer this type of degree contrary to the University of Aruba. It's reality. This is going on right now. This is not myth. So again, I am inviting you. Let's look at trends. Where are universities going? What are they offering so that we can know what we have to also offer and what we have to compete with? On the one hand, you have international distance education programs, not courses, programs, where again, you have students with other students from around the world. You have students with faculty from around the world. And that is attractive to a lot of students. And this is something that is not impossible for the University of Aruba. And then when I imagine the potential, for example, when everybody thinks of Aruba, they think of tourism. Well, you can have a tourism program that is international, running from Aruba. It's attractive. That can be the flagship to bring Aruba, the University of Aruba, to the world. And then from there on, let them see the rest of the offerings from the university. Aruba and tourism are just a magical pair. And the potential is there to go out because I think it would be incredibly attractive for the world. And when you look at multiple pathways for the degree, you have the concept of a stackable degree. What is a stackable degree? Stackable degrees are programs that can offer possibly 15 certificates. The student selects from those 15 or 20 certificates, selects 5, 10, how it depends on how you organize it. Certificates that are specifically oriented to the sector where the student plans to work with. That certificate, based one upon the other, with a certain amount of credits, will make the student eligible for a degree. A student will receive a more personalized type of education. Certificates from the University of Aruba, but as he gains his certificate, he can be more attractive to the labor market. This is something that's being seen everywhere. Stackable degrees. It changes the way the university organizes its curriculum. But it's something that begins to appeal to those students who are tired of generic programs, where they don't even know if they're going to fit in or not according to their needs. And then you have personalized education, where we can have the possibility of knowing the students that come to us because we have databases that permit us to see the strengths and weaknesses of our students. Instead of having students just come into us and the only thing we know is their name and their student number, and if we can know all their background, because these databases permit us to see strengths and weaknesses, we can concentrate on strengths and weaknesses of students. But again, that implies establishing those databases where we can have those students personalized, and we can have assignments personalized according to their needs. We can do a lot of things with personalized education, and this motivates students. It permits them to realize that, hey, this education is pertinent to me. But we have to be thinking of getting away from generic courses and generic programs and begin to take personalization seriously because we have the technology to do it well. I think we should be aware, and with this I'm ending my presentation, hopefully we'll have a dialogue here. We have to realize that there are industries that die. And what we're seeing is the death, the slow death of the newspaper industry. Newspapers are dying, journalist jobs are shrinking, and those newspapers that will be surviving are those that reinvent themselves. And if we're seeing this in different industries, don't think that higher education is slipping. There are universities that are closing around the world. There are universities that are merging around the world because the scene is changing. And my word of warning to the University of Aruba is that now you may not see this, but soon it will be coming. Because the rest of the world is going through this and you are not the exception. So my call to the University of Aruba is to rethink itself. And I think this group that is starting, UA21, is a real group that can rethink how things are running. Rethink how to do things in the University of Aruba. And it's an invitation to continue to support this group because, to me, the future of the University of Aruba rests with this program. Thank you.